Beacon Press Audio presents The End of Animal Farming: How Scientists, Entrepreneurs, and Activists Are Building an Animal-Free Food System by Jacy Reese. This audiobook is narrated by Thom Rivera. Published by Beacon Press Audio, 2018. This book is dedicated to ancient changemakers like Pythagoras, vegetarian and Greek philosopher, and Ashoka, animal advocate and Indian emperor, whose ripple effects plausibly did more good than anyone else's in the history of the world. Introduction. This is not a book about the problems of animal farming. Scores of compelling books, documentaries, news articles, and scientific papers have detailed the damage animal farming does to public health, agricultural workers, rural communities, the national economy, the global food supply, our air and water, and, of course, farmed animals. This is a book about exactly how we can solve those problems. So much has been written exposing and condemning the animal agriculture industry. The technology theorist Tom Chatfield listed eating meat and factory farming first in his predictions of what our descendants in centuries to come will deplore about today's society. Journalist Ezra Klein, author Steven Pinker, business magnate Richard Branson, science educator Bill Nye, and Indian politician Maneka Gandhi have all made similar forecasts, based primarily on concern for farmed animals. In 2017, the BBC even produced the mockumentary Carnage, based in the vegan world of 2067. It took a critical and humorous look at Britain's unpleasant history of eating animals. It might seem surprising that the plight of these neglected creatures, by numbers around 93% of farmed animals are chickens and fish, is so compelling an issue, given the fact that humans are still plagued by disease, oppression, war, racial and economic inequality, and other pressing social issues. However, even if we ignore the harms animal farming causes to humans, a bit of reflection exposes a compelling moral urgency. Consider these three facts. First, there are over 100 billion farmed animals alive at this moment, more than 10 times the number of humans. Second, over 90%, over 99% in the U.S. of these animals live on industrial large-scale factory farms, enduring atrocious cruelty such as intense confinement in tiny cages, brutal mutilation and slaughter methods, and rampant disease and suffering from artificial breeding for excessive production of meat, dairy, and eggs. Third, today we have scientific consensus that these are sentient beings with the capacity to feel great joy and suffering. If we put these facts together, then we see animal farming as more than an abstract system of machinery and livestock. Animal farming is the moral catastrophe of one sentient being with a heartbreaking life story, plus another sentient being, plus another, plus another, plus another, more than 100 billion times. Historian Yuval Noah Harari, author of the books Sapiens, A Brief History of Humankind, and Homo Deus, A Brief History of Tomorrow, went so far as to suggest that animal farming is the worst crime in history. You might feel cautious about this opposition to all animal farming. If there's a small percentage of the animal agriculture industry that's not factory farming, shouldn't we support that segment instead of abolishing the whole thing? What's wrong with buying eggs from happy hens? I will share my views on this topic at length in Chapter 6, arguing that we should oppose all animal farming, but note that most of this book's arguments don't rely on that viewpoint. Food advocates of all viewpoints are still united against the vast majority of modern animal farming, and you could read the rest of this book as The End of Factory Farming with little issue. The future is brighter than you think. Some people dismiss the notion that animal farming
Sample complete. Ready to continue?